What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing a preview of Manchester City's penultimate away game this season in the Premier League. It's our last midweek game of the season as well. It's a trek to Brighton and Hove Albion away to the Amex Stadium for our game in hand on May 24th, 2023 with an 8 PM BST kickoff time. Anyone heading down to Brighton, do have a great time. The game is live on Sky Sports if you're wanting to watch in the UK. Alternatively, I am going to be doing another live stream watch along as well, where I'll be going live at 7:30 PM BST on my YouTube. So if you want to stay up to date with that, then please do subscribe, press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. Do leave a thumbs up, 100 likes once more is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Finally, this video is sponsored once more and brought to you by my sponsor for my previews for the season, BetMate. They're running a £3 pot for this game worth £200, paying up to the top 10 places. 45 quid for the winner. Links and details, they are in the description. It is a free app to download BetMate. Remember, press that link in the description. That'll take you to the download page to download BetMate. And if you use code JSGC10 on sign up, you'll get £10 in free bets. BetMate works very simple. It's very much like fantasy football. You score points based on player performance. You select up to 6 players from each team, and the person who scores the most points wins the pot, and it pays up to the top 10 places. Pretty self-explanatory. Happy betmating, and I will speak about BetMate more later in the video. So, Brighton won 2 of their last 4 games, all but sealed 6th place in the Premier League and a spot in the Europa League next season. They're 3 points clear of Aston Villa. Coincidentally, they face Aston Villa away from home, who are in 7th place. Aston Villa have 1 game left. Brighton do have 16 goal difference on Aston Villa that will need to be turned over. And so a point mathematically will seal a place in Europe, in the Europa League for Brighton and Hove Albion, which will be making history for them. Their manager, Roberto De Zerbi, he said that this weekend he doesn't want Europa Conference League football next season. He wants Europa League football. What a season he's had with Brighton. Potential manager of the year for me. Eddie Howe, I think, just about edges it with Newcastle, getting them to a cup final and getting them into the Champions League. But I certainly think that Roberto De Zerbi runs it pretty close with doing a fantastic job at Brighton. For me, LMA Manager of the Year needs to go to Pep Guardiola in charge at Manchester City. But for the Premier League Manager of the Year, an overachieving Brighton, Newcastle, Brentford, Aston Villa, right up there with clubs overachieving this season. So all them clubs done a cracking job. So pretty much Brighton just need to make sure, if they are to lose to Manchester City, they need to make sure they're just not losing by many. Now, Aston Villa, best case scenario, win 3-4-0 at the weekend against Brighton. That's a turn of 6 to 8 on the goal difference. It means they need Manchester City here, realistically, to be winning by 8, 9, maybe even double figures in goals. It's not going to happen. So, to me, Brighton have sealed Europa League football for next season. Now, Brighton in their last game beat Southampton at home 3-1. I'm expecting to see a pretty similar side coming out at the Amex for this game as well. That would be Jason Steele in goal, Veltman at right back, Estepinen at left back, Dunk and Colwill as their centre back. A midfield 3 made up of Caicedo, Gross and McAllister. That's a fantastic midfield, by the way. We may see the likes of Danny Welbeck and Billy Gilmore starting, with Evan Ferguson starting up top. He scored a brace in the last game at the weekend, but I reckon it'll be Enciso and Mitoma starting for Brighton out wide. But it's a decent team. It's going to be a difficult challenge this for Manchester City, and we need to be right up there playing on the top of our game if we are to take any points away from this game. Now, this to me is a proper challenge for us. This will help when we play Manchester United in the FA Cup final. This will help when we face Inter Milan in the Champions League final. The last thing we want are teams just to sit there, take it, and not challenge or push Manchester City, because it doesn't help us. It doesn't help us to up our game and look for them next levels that we're looking for, because to beat United and to beat Inter Milan, we have to find them next levels, and to beat Brighton away from home, we have to find that level as well that's needed to beat United at Wembley, that's needed to beat Inter in the Champions League final. So this, to me, very difficult challenge for Manchester City. Should be a really good game, and I'm expecting City to do a fair amount of rotation in this game, and so I would not rule out Brighton taking something from this game, maybe even ending Manchester City's unbeaten record. We'll have to wait and see. So it'll be very interesting to see what team Pep Guardiola goes for. I've got a feeling here he may go with a very strong team and may go with a strong midfield to try and counter Brighton's strong midfield as well. Now, the only two players in our last game against Chelsea at home, where we lifted the Premier League, the only two players that I'm expecting to be starting against United and maybe Inter as well are Akanji and Walker. So I expect them two players to be rotated here, so each player gets at least one game off, and then I'd expect maybe 5 or 6 first teamers going out here, and maybe another 4 or 5 going against Brentford is what we would be looking for. But I think the main thing here for City, try and keep our momentum going, stay injury free and stay sharp ahead of some massive games. Now, City unbeaten in 24 games in all competitions. We have won our last 3 in all competitions, won our last 12 Premier League games, and form could just be key when it comes to winning the treble. So keeping that momentum going could be absolutely crucial, and the only way we do that is going with a strong team. So I'm going to pop up my team prediction now, and I think Ortega Moreno starts in this game. I think this will be the last Premier League game he starts, because I think Ederson will get given the nod in our final game against Brentford. It could be Ederson given the nod here and Ortega Moreno given the nod at the weekend. I'm going with a back 3 made up of Stones, Diaz and Laporte. Gives rest for Akanji, gives rest for Walker. I've gone with Lewis and Rodri as our 2 holding midfielders. Could see Phillips potentially slot into that. The problem we've got with Phillips is he's very much a holding midfielder. He isn't an inverted fullback. And if we are to do that, Stones could slot in there. Lewis can slot in there. But if we slot Stones in there, then it means Walker or Akanji aren't going to be given a rest unless we see Nathan Ake returning, and he isn't too far away. Could even make the bench for this game. We'll have to wait and see. I've also gone with Bernardo, Silva and Gundogan as our 2 of central midfielders. Gives a nice rest there for Kevin De Bruyne. I'm resting Erling Haaland. I'm resting Jack Grealish as well. And all 3 of them players I'll be starting against Brentford, so they're nice and fit and nice and sharp and all had a nice good rest. So I've gone with Mahrez on the right, Foden on the left, and Julian Alvarez continuing his good form, grabbing another goal for Manchester City, starting up top. I do think that Phillips is unlucky to miss out. Thought he had a good game against Chelsea. I'd give him 30 minutes here, and I'm hoping that Pep Guardiola is going to utilise the 5 substitutions that we are allowed. We find ourselves here in a unique position when it comes to squad rotation, so we may as well utilise it. Now, in terms of my score prediction, it's difficult. I wouldn't rule out Brighton winning this game. I think my head's telling me this might be a draw. It all depends on how many changes City want to make. It all depends on how much rotation's out there. It's a full strength team. I suspect City could win this by 2 or 3. If it's not, I wouldn't rule out Brighton winning it, so my head's telling me 1-1, and I can give a better prediction in my live stream once I see the team. So right now, without knowing the teams, it's difficult, so I'm just going to sit on the fence and say 1-1. City to continue their unbeaten run, but our Premier League winning streak potentially coming to an end. Now, in terms of betting tips, I reckon Caicedo, yellow card for Brighton any time. McAllister, wanting to show off to Liverpool, they're watching. City are being linked, they're watching. I'm going for him to impress and score any time, and Alvarez to continue his good form as well by scoring any time should he start. Remember, do wait until teams have been announced if you are going to place any bets on any individual players. Now, moving on to today's video sponsor, BetMate. £200 pop, paying up to the top 10 places, free out to download. The link and details, they're in the description. Remember, use code JSGC10 on sign up for £10 in free bets. You can use them free bets to join this pot for free. My team for the pot, I'm going with Ortega, Moreno in goal, 2 defenders made up of Dunk and Stones, 2 midfielders, McAllister and vice-captain Phil Foden, and up top I've got Ferguson and captain Julian Alvarez. On the bench I've got Jason Steele, Aymeric, Laporte, Pascal Gross and Erling Haaland, because I don't know if Erling Haaland's going to feature. If he is, he'll be going into my starting 11. Now I've joined the £1 pot, £15 whip for the winner, 20 places, winner takes all pot, so I'm going for that one. I'm backing myself, I believe in myself, so let's go. Now BetMate do also have a massive £3,000 pot available. It's result prediction based. I'm in, go and check it out. It's for the final game of the season. You want to join that pot, then the code is FT-2805-01, a whopping £1,200 for the winner for a £5 entry fee. Not a bad return at all. If you want to join this pot, then the code is FF-BHA-MCI. So don't forget, if you are going to gamble, do gamble responsibly, and when the fun stops, stop. So let's go. Nothing to play for really, but it is interesting nonetheless. So there we go, that has been the video. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 100 likes is the aim. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. Social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out today's video sponsor, BetMate. Links and details there in the description, and you can go and check them out. That would be much appreciated. And finally, I will be doing my live stream watch along. I'll set the link out for that later on today for you to go and set your reminders for. I'll see you over there. Stay tuned for that. Live at 7:30 p.m. BST tomorrow. Our final midweek game, our penultimate game of the Premier League season. It's Brighton and Hove Albion taking on Manchester City. I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.